Hello, everybody. Good evening and happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday night, so you know what that means. It is Wine Down Wednesday. I'm your host, 𝗿𝗫𝙑𝙬𝙗, and if you're new here, welcome. As you are hopping on, watching us live, please leave a comment in the comments so I can say hello. And if you are new here, welcome to the show. As I said, my name is 𝗿𝗫𝙑𝙬𝙗. I'm the host of Self-Love TV, and we are here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, talking all the things self-love and with your weekly self-love astrology report. And so it's Halloween season, so you know I had to kick it up a notch. I was a little festive last week, and I had to kick it up a notch. This is my first attempt, well, not my first, but my first attempt at a 𝘿𝐺𝐴𝑙𝑥y avant-garde makeup. So how did I do? And the reason why I chose the 𝘿𝐺𝐴𝑙𝑥y was, one, because I've always been wanting to do it, and two, Mercury went retrograde last night. So if you're new here, every week we talk about a certain self-love topic, which tonight we are going to be talking about reassessing your love life and talking about all the ways that we lie to ourselves in dating situations. So it's going to be a fun topic of conversation. I definitely want you to be interactive. Please say hello as you're popping on. Hey, Trista. Hey, Jeremy. Hey, Jane. And so that's our topic for tonight. But as always, we kick things off with our self-love astrology weather report. But before we go into that, it's Wine Down Wednesday, so let me know what you're drinking. Tonight, I am drinking a glass full of the galaxy, the Milky Way, the stars. So let me know what you're drinking tonight, aka I'm drinking water. I'm on a pretty strict diet right now, so I'm not doing wine for the next couple months, but we've got a glass of the stars. So let me know what you're drinking with us, and let's just cheers to an amazing Wine Down Wednesday. Okay, jumping right into our self-love astrology weather report. If you don't know, I'm gonna tell you right now, Mercury just went retrograde again last night. And this Mercury retrograde is in the sign of Scorpio. And I'm going to show you, there's a lot of stuff that you can Google about Mercury retrograde. I'm sure by now you've heard a lot about it. But if you are new, the thing that I always like to remind people is that whenever a planet goes retrograde, just remember the first two letters in the word retrograde, R-E, re. So it's a reminder that it's a great time to reassess, recalibrate, review, and reflect. Now, the reason why a lot of people don't like retrogrades, or why if you've heard retrograde and you're like, oh my gosh, that sucks, it's because we live in a society where we're conditioned to constantly go, go, go. We're conditioned to believe that our worth only lies in our ability to produce. And so when there are moments where we just need to pause and stop and slow down and reflect and review and recalibrate, we don't like it, because we live in a very impatient society, and where we're always constantly trying to go for the next goal and the next goal and the next goal. And so I like to say that even though most people don't like retrogrades, I want you to learn to be conditioned to love retrogrades. I want you to be like, oh my gosh, yay, another retrograde, another amazing time for me to reflect, review, reassess, recalibrate. So in this Mercury retrograde, the question is, what are we reviewing, reflecting, reassessing, recalibrating? So first, let's talk in general about all Mercury retrogrades. So all Mercury retrogrades are an opportunity to reflect on our communication. Mercury is the planet of communication and mental activities. So our thoughts, our belief systems, our structures, our organization. So every Mercury retrograde, which happens 3 times a year, is always a good time to reflect on those things, to review those things. How are my thoughts? How are my belief systems? How's my communication? Am I communicating effectively and clearly? Am I saying what I want to say? Am I opening up? Am I using my voice for what I want to be using my voice for? So in general, those are opportunities for us to reflect on that. And that's why Mercury retrograde is notorious for messing with our technology, because in this day and age, as you know, technology is what really helps us communicate in a way that we were never able to before. So if we're reflecting and reviewing and recalibrating our communication, a big piece of that for a lot of us is technology. And so technology tends to break down and mess up around us because it brings up our stuff. It brings up our frustration. It brings up our inner woundings. You notice too, a lot of times Mercury retrograde is notorious for like the exes coming back into the picture, because it's an energy of reflection. Now, why I love bringing Mercury retrogrades to Wind Down Wednesday to give you your self-love astrology weather report is because I like to give you the next level, the next layer of deeper learning with the retrograde. So Mercury retrograde is in Scorpio, and basically each Mercury retrograde builds on top of each other. So if you use the learning and the energies of the retrograde to support you, you can, and you really intentionally use this energy, you can see and measure your growth from retrograde to retrograde. So I say that because this Mercury retrograde in Scorpio is building upon all the lessons that we learned 6 months ago. Is it 6 months ago? Well, whatever, however many months ago when Mercury retrograde was in Cancer. So there's obviously 10 million directions that I can go with this, and I can talk about it for hours and hours, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to give you some broad strokes that you can learn. Hey, Shamik. Hey, Shelly. That you can start to think about things. So the first thing, and this is something that I teach my group program participants, and it's something that we've gone really deep into in my signature program, Radiance, which is a 4-month self-love journey all about creating passion and purpose. And we've gone heavy into the elements. And so when you think of Mercury in retrograde in Scorpio, and if you're thinking, I don't know what the heck that means, the very top layer that you can think of it is elementally. So Scorpio is a water sign. That's something you can easily Google. You can say, what element is Scorpio? And you'll get it's a water sign. And so water element is all about intuition and depth and emotional nurturing and needs. So if Mercury is in retrograde in a water sign, it's a great time to reflect, recalibrate, reassess, review your emotional needs, your intuition, the lessons that you're learning about that. And I really want you to think of Mercury retrograde as an opportunity to see what life is reflecting back to you. So right now, Mercury just went retrograde last night. But we do kind of feel like the effects 3 weeks before, then the actual retrograde is 3 weeks, and then also post-shadow, which is 3 weeks. So essentially there's 9 weeks of this ramping up to reflection and then ramping down to integrate. Are you tracking with me? Think of it as like a flight. We're getting on the Mercury retrograde plane. And so first the plane has to take off. So that's pre-shadow, like boarding, checking in with TSA, and then taking off, that's pre-shadow. And then once we're in flight, that's the retrograde. And then post-shadow is when we're landing, and then we integrate. We get to our destination, we pick up our baggage, we go to our destination. So I want you to think of retrograde like that. And so it's a great opportunity to really look at the themes of the water element, like I said. intuition? What lessons have you been learning? What has been coming up for you? Like the things that are happening to you in your life right now during the retrograde, during pre-shadow, are ramping you up to really create more depth as it relates to the things in your life that are watery. Your emotional relationships, your intuition, like I keep saying, like maybe things have been happening that have been testing how much you trust your intuition. Or maybe things have been happening that have been really helping you get clarity around your emotional needs and the way that you need to be emotionally nurtured. It's a very watery thing. Or the way that you emotionally nurture others, right? Like maybe you have themes of codependency really showing up in your face, and it's giving you a reflection, which is what retrograde gives you, a reflection of what's going on. So it's an opportunity to look at those themes. So that's like generally speaking about Mercury in retrograde. You want to look at the sign that it's in. So it's in Scorpio. And then you want to figure out what is the element of that sign, which is water. And so the general themes are going to be watery themes. If you have any questions about that, definitely pop it in the comments. So now I want to teach you and show you how to get even more detailed with your birth chart. Now I'm only going to show you really quickly because no problem, this episode gets uploaded to my YouTube channel, which my YouTube channel is, if you search, this right here, I'll just pop the link, but if you search the Amelia Fortes on YouTube, you'll find a playlist for Wind Down Wednesday and you can see all of that there. So I'm going to go through it really fast and catch it on the replay if you need like it slower. And so I just popped that on the YouTube there. So where I'm going to go is I'm going to go to a website called astro-charts.com. And I'll show it to you. I'm sharing my screen right now. So you see here, astro-charts. So you go to astro-charts.com and you see here that you put your name, the city, state, and country you were born, your date of birth, and the time you were born. And then you click Create Chart. And then it's going to show you, I'm going to show you my chart. It's going to show you your chart. Where is it? Here it is. So you're going to get your chart and it's going to look something like this with a bunch of lines and a bunch of planets and all the signs. So like I said, the Mercury retrograde is in Scorpio. So I'm going to go to where it says Scorpio on my chart. And I'm going to remove the banner because I think you might not be able to see the whole thing. Yes, so I'm going to go to where it says Scorpio on my chart. Now, it's 11 degrees Scorpio to 25 degrees Libra. So all that means is it's right here. So this 11 degrees is around here and 25 degrees is around here. So the retrograde is occurring in this little corner right here. So you're going to look on your chart and look at like Libra and Scorpio, and it's generally in this area. So what's happening in this area for me? We've got third house, second house, and then we've got Mars, Saturn, and Pluto. So essentially it's the third house, the second house, Mars, Saturn, and Pluto. So I won't really talk about the planets. You can deep dive on that. But what I do want to talk about are the houses. So then I want you to Google what is the third house in astrology, or the second house, or whatever house you're in. So if you're able to figure out what house or houses this Mercury retrograde is affecting, definitely put that in the comments. So for me, it's the third house and then the second house. So for me, the third house is the house of communications and basically my mind and my mental activities and the way that I think and the way that I organize myself. And then the second house is finances, personal finances, my material possessions. And I will tell you, because like I said, Mercury retrograde impacts us from 3 weeks before. So I will tell you, these last few weeks, there have definitely been third house and second house themes in my life like shit happening in my life that is having me really look at my personal finances, how I manage them, how I feel about my material possessions. Like for me, I've really been leveling up in my self-love and my self-worth. And so I've been coming to terms with, like, if I need a new eye cream, I'm going to buy the new eye cream. I'm going to buy the good one. I'm going to splurge a little and get the good eye cream. That's like a super superficial, vain kind of example, but that was the first one that popped up in my head. And it's just, I've been really feeling the lessons and the themes of like what I deserve from a personal finances standpoint and from a personal material possessions standpoint. And so I've really been reflecting and reviewing and recalibrating that for myself, as well as in my communication, in my friendships, in my family, and also in my business with my clients. Just really, I've really been learning different themes of how I can communicate better, how I prefer to communicate, and really setting some healthy boundaries there. So that's how I would look at my chart. So you would look at your chart. You would probably have different houses and different planets. But that's how you can see how this Mercury retrograde would be impacting you. So that's usually a little bit longer than usual self-love astrology weather report, but that's because we just went into a Mercury retrograde, and I know that a lot of people get a little crazy about it. So I really wanted to break it down for you on how you can figure out what's impacting you and how it might show up and what you can reflect on. And I actually strongly recommend, I work with an amazing astrologer. She's a Cosmo amazing astrologer, which Daphna, and I'm in her Mercury retrograde programs. And so she recommended a Mercury retrograde journal, a journal that you have literally just for your reflections about Mercury retrograde, because Mercury is the planet that's closest to the sun, and it's really close to Earth, so it really impacts us. And it really gives us a lot of reflections and things to think about. So I've got all my meditations and reflections from last retrograde, and then from this retrograde, I started journaling some more around those themes, around those houses, like how I showed you how to do. So hi, Colleen. Hi, Maxine. As you're jumping on, please say hello. I would love to say hi. If you're catching this on the replay, give us a hashtag replay. If you're watching this on YouTube, remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever we have new videos every week. 1 to 3 times a week I post videos. So I hope you're enjoying. So that's really it for now for the Self-Love Astrology Weather Report. More to come next week, as we'll be right smack in the middle of the retrograde. But going into the topic, speaking of reflecting, reassessing, reviewing, recalibrating, I wanted to talk about reassessing your love life. And I emphasize the ass because, one, it's funny, but mostly it's like sometimes, especially when it comes to love life, and especially when I'm like working with my clients around dating and relationships, for some reason the theme of like, he's an ass, like the guy is an ass, like, because here's the thing, we make so many excuses, especially when we're dating someone we really like. So, the description of this video is like, if you're feeling that you're generally badass in all areas of your life, except when it comes to dating someone you really like, number one, I want to say you're not alone. But number two, I want to say is that you've likely got one or more of the 5 deceptions at play. So we're actually going to talk about one of the deceptions tonight. But yeah, it's like, a lot of times when I'm working with a client and they're telling me about some guy, and usually they're making excuses for him because he's really good looking or whatever. And I'm just like, he's an ass. Like, he's a total douche. Like, he's not a good person. And it's just interesting how we make excuses for people sometimes. Yet with other people who are totally nice and healthy and calm and whatever, we just shut them down. And so we get stuck in this weird, vicious cycle of just never feeling satisfied in love and relationships. And so really the topic is about, you know, when we say he's not that bad and other lies we tell ourselves. So it actually relates to deception number 1, which I go into a lot more detail in my free download on my website, as well as in my online digital program, which I'll actually tell you a little bit more about. So I'm only going to give you like a little taste of what it's about, but essentially this is just speaking to the deception where we lie to ourselves. Like we literally lie to ourselves. And tonight is really just about, I want you to start to have an awareness of all the ways that you lie to yourself in relationships. And maybe even if you're not single, like I think we definitely lie to ourselves when we are in a relationship, like when it's not working out and maybe when it needs to end, and we just lie to ourselves. And so I want to talk about that a little bit and like why we do that. But first, we've got to come to terms with the fact that we do it. So I like to say that if you are leaving your romantic encounters feeling frustrated, defeated, overwhelmed, confused, hurt, or conflicted, especially conflicted, chances are you're lying to yourself about something. And now I know that's not like a comfortable thing to admit or to face. Like, I'm not lying to myself. I know what I want. And it's really funny because literally all of my clients, when I work with them for dating and relationships, is like, they're like, no, I know what I want. And oftentimes they're already dating someone or someone's. And I just start to peel back the layers a little bit, even in like a first session. And it's just incredible how we just come to terms with like how we lie to ourselves or how we are not actually as clear as we think we are. So one of the most common ones that I see is the one that's like the title right here, like he's not that bad. Like I think, and where I think that comes from is we can be so desperate for love sometimes. And I don't even say that like it's a bad thing. I mean, human beings were hardwired for connection. We're hardwired for love. We need love and connection. But sometimes, especially when it's been a long time since we've been with someone, or we really, really want to be in a relationship, we really, really want a partnership. And so sometimes when we really, really want something, we lose our sense of self, we lose our center, we lose our boundaries, we lose our sense of intuition, we lose our standards, because there comes a moment where something becomes better than nothing. And so then we make excuses for the people that we date, like, oh, he's not that bad, or sometimes it's even because we're used to being treated badly and we don't even know what it's like to be treated well. And I can't even, it's countless times where friends and clients alike will be telling me about a guy they're dating. And I'm just like, that guy's a total idiot. Like, that guy is not a good person. Like, he's not treating you well. He is not being good to you. And like, no, well, it's not that bad. And it's like, yes, it is that bad. And you know, sometimes it might feel like it's not that bad in the moment, but in the long run, it will be that bad, because each and every time, each heartbreak will feel worse and worse and worse and worse. So that's one example. Another really common example of ways that I see a lot of people lying to themselves in dating and relationships is when they tell themselves that they're okay with casual sex and hooking up, but they're actually not okay with it. Now, I always have to preface when I tell people that I'm not even saying casual sex is wrong. I'm completely part of the sex positive movement where, you know, everyone should have sex however they want to have sex. You know, the slut shaming thing to me is like so 1990s, like so 2000s and before. Like, slut shaming is super not woke and not cool. And I think everyone can have sex however they want. So if you like casual sex, then you like casual sex. If you like polyamory, then you like polyamory. Like, do you, boo-boo? However, I do see a lot that people have convinced themselves that they're okay with it when they're really not. And I see it all the time, especially in groups of people when they're talking very, vocabulary is not my strong suit tonight, but very like raunchy, not that raunchy's bad, but like very graphically about sex and like, ooh, yeah, like the dick better be good, like just things like that. And it's like, it's not true. Like, not that it's not true, but it's like, that's not the most important thing. And it's almost like using that raunchiness as a mask, or using that sexual openness and fluidity as a mask. And I say this because I've done it. Like, I used to think that if a guy was hot enough, and if we were both single, consenting as adults, you know, that have been tested, so we're healthy, like, yeah, cool, I'm okay with a one-night stand, or I'm okay with like casual dating. And it took me getting heartbroken multiple times, one after the other, to like really finally admit to myself, I'm not okay with it. Like, it doesn't work for me. Like, I cannot do it. And I'm not condemning people who do it. It's just, I literally can't. I need emotions. I need connection. I need to feel a deep connection with someone before I can open up to them physically in that way. And I used to lie to myself thinking I could just do it, and I really can't. And so I got a lot of freedom when I finally admitted to myself that, hey, Tiffany, that I wasn't okay with it. And so that's really important, right? The other lie that I see really, really common, and I'll talk about maybe one or two more, but the other one that I see that's really common is that you're cool just going with the flow and like, yeah, no, I don't need a commitment. Like, it's cool. We're cool. And you're not really cool. Like, you want a commitment, you know? Like, even on dating apps, like when I work with a client, they're like, yeah, I was talking to this guy, and then they're like, he asked me, what do I want? And then I was like, oh no, I'm just going with the flow. And I'm like, why did you say that? You're not going with the flow. You're looking for love. Like, tell them you're looking for love. Like, that is the truth. Because here's the thing, those who aren't looking for love will go away, and those who are will be like, oh wow, great. That's really refreshing. So tonight is really all about getting honest with yourself and to stop lying to yourself about things. And, you know, this isn't something that's like a one and done. Like, you're going to notice it, especially if this is a pattern of yours, you're going to notice it along the way. Let's see, what's another lie that I see a lot that people tell themselves? Oh, like long distance. And here's the thing. I know that there's a lot of people that make long distance work. But long distance is a very tricky animal, because long distance can give you the idea that you're actually connecting with someone, but you're not actually having your needs met, because your needs are probably very connected to like a physical connection, being able to see each other, and not just talking through the screens or flying back and forth every other weekend. And so the piece where I invite you people to be honest is, what is the lifestyle that you really want with your partner? Like, do you want to be like flying back and forth, or is that just not going to be okay? Like, and here's the thing, right? In relationships, there's always going to be compromises. So I'm not even saying to be too rigid. I'm saying you got to find the balance, right? You don't want to be too rigid where you're just like, no one is good enough and you're cutting everyone off. But you don't want to be too flexible where your needs are not being met and you realize that you leave all your romantic encounters just completely disappointed and hurt and upset, you know? So that's another one, right? Being honest about the lifestyle that you want. And that could be anything. That could be where you live. That could be the kind of work that you both do. That could be religion. That could be spirituality. That could be partying, you know, drugs and recreational things. Like, you want to be clear and honest about the lifestyle you want, about what you want, that you want commitment, that you're looking for love. And so many people just keep lying to themselves. And here's the thing that I'll tell you. Tonight's episode is going to give you the awareness, and I want you to think about it, but it's not going to give you the transformation. Like, awareness is not transformation in and of itself. You actually need to practice these new ways of being. And oftentimes I, need the support of a coach or a healer or a therapist or someone or all of the above to really guide you, especially if you have trauma in your past, especially if good, healthy, long-term relationships is not something that you learned how to do. Just period, And I know you can look at that like, oh, well, she's just trying to sell her coaching. But like, it doesn't matter to me if you work with me or not. I want people to work with me if they like my vibe and they really feel like I can help them. I just know that all of my goals and achievements became so much easier and more effortless when I worked with someone to help achieve them, whether it's accountability partners or a coach or a healer or a therapist. I mean, I have all of the above, okay? Like, especially now at this point in my life, like, I am pulling all the stops in my self-love and my self-worth. And it's been so helpful for me just to have those reflections to support me in my dating life, in my business, in my personal life. So don't try to do it alone. Get the support that you need. And even just knowing up in your mind isn't enough too. Like, you really need to have that learning go deep into your psyche, into your subconscious mind, and into your soul. And that being said, if this is a topic that you really want to dive deeper into, I do have an opportunity for you for free to get that kind of support, to really dive deep and rejig your love life and reassess some things. And it's starting next week, next Wednesday. And it's going to be a free 3-day experience that is all about magnetizing true love by loving yourself from within. So it's called Metamorphosis, and you can sign up with this URL right here, metamorphosis.selflovestory.com/register. And it starts next week on Wednesday. And when you go to that website too, you'll get all the information. But essentially, it's going to be 3 really impactful days. You're going to get worksheets and lessons with me. And I guarantee it will be a life changer. You will learn so much from just diving deeper in and having some focused attention with support to really look at your dating habits and where they're unhealthy and where they're toxic and how to turn them around. So this is really for you if you're looking for love and you're ready to make some changes. You're looking for love. You're smart. You're fabulous. You're a catch. But for some reason, the people you date somehow have missed the memo, or you keep attracting the same not right kind of people. And so you have a sense that there are some dating patterns that you need to shift and change. And maybe you're aware of what they are, maybe you're not, but you know that it would really help you to get some support with that. If that's you, then this Metamorphosis is definitely for you. If this is not for you, if you are obsessed with someone and you're trying to find ways to like get them to fall in love with you, this isn't like love potion, love spell stuff. I mean, it is, but not in that way. This isn't for you if you're unwilling to look at maybe some of the more difficult things. Because here's the thing, dating patterns, especially the unhealthy ones, are tied to stuff that's happened to you. Now, we're not going to like go into your trauma and all that, but we are going to start to heal some of those things. So this is for you if you really want to start to heal some of those things. If you've already been on a journey of healing those things and you want to go deeper, if any of you have taken any program with me, whether paid or free, please definitely leave a comment on how it's impacted you. I'm known for going deep. I don't just do surface level, like these are the 10 texts that you need to get him to fall for you. Like that kind of love and relationship coaching pisses me off. Like that's just propaganda to get you to spend your money. Like I'm about real, deep, long-lasting, permanent transformation. And so I carefully curate my programs to create a safe space with people who think like you, people who are also willing to go deep and courageously look at themselves and deepen their self-love and put themselves first and learn healthy boundaries and all of that good stuff. So a lot of the people that have been in my programs, they become really good friends. So it's a really cool community that we create. We go really deep, and the ripple effect of the transformation is just so beautiful to witness, so beautiful to watch. And I am really, really excited for 𝘠Metamorphosis. I've never done anything like it before, so it's going to be a lot of new stuff. And it's also going to be a lot of other stuff. So even if you've worked with me before or watched my videos before, it will go deeper. It will take you much, much deeper. So go check it out. All of the information is on there, the dates, the times, how to register, all of that stuff. So go to 𝘠Metamorphosis.selflovestory.com, and I would love to see you in there. Oh my gosh, yay, Tiffany, are you gonna come into 𝘠Metamorphosis? I'm so excited. You are going to love it. I already know. And yes, Jeremy, thank you so much. You've been working with me for a really long time now. And yes, we do go really, really deep. Actually, my last live stream, if I may, Jeremy, I'm sure you don't mind I share this, but my last live stream was called Illuminate, and Jeremy just went super deep on day one. I'll just say that. Like day one was like one lesson, and Jeremy was just like, woo, to the races. And oh my God, but Jeremy, so much transformation came out just from day one of Illuminate. And I definitely expect the same with 𝘠Metamorphosis. And yes, Tiffany, I will be there with bells on. Oh, thank you so much, Jeremy. You're going to love working with Amelia. It's changed my life. I'm still going through the motions. I love it. I love it. Jeremy, and it's funny because you've been working with me for a long time around dating and relationships. 𝘠Metamorphosis is going to go so deep, and you are going to get next level learnings, you know, even though you've been working with me. So thank you so much. Yes, Radiance is amazing. I'm currently running Radiance right now. So yeah, let me leave up. Oh, it's still there. 𝘠Metamorphosis. So yeah, join me in 𝘠Metamorphosis. It starts next week. Invite a friend. This is really, you know, if you're tired of like lame dates, if you're tired of getting ghosted, if you're tired of knowing that you deserve better, but feeling like the people you attract keep falling flat, and there's just this frustrating pattern that you can't seem to get out of, 𝘠Metamorphosis is going to be for you. We're going to have a private Facebook group where we can kiki together, and we're going to have worksheets, lessons. There's going to be a bonus Q&A as well as a bonus Resurrect Your Love Life webinar. And I definitely invite you to invite a friend to join you into 𝘠Metamorphosis. One thing I want to say, and I might have to say this several times, but once you join, then we'll let you into the Facebook group. We might not let people in until next week. So if you don't get an approval until next week, don't worry about that. But this happened last time. Don't just invite people to the Facebook group without telling them, because one, that's annoying, and two, they have to register before we can let them in. So you can invite them, but just know that we'll probably message them to ask them to register, because I want it to be a safe space. So I only want people that are intentional, that register, because just registering alone creates the energy and the intention, right? So so that's what we ask, and it creates that safe space. And, you know, we ask for confidentiality and all of that good stuff. So I'm really, really excited for it. Definitely go register. I hope tonight's topic was really helpful for you. Next week's topic is going to be, what is it going to be? Oh, it's going to be about entanglements, which I know Jada and August and Will Smith made that, well, Jada made it viral, but I was talking about entanglements first. But next week is going to be about that. And yeah, I'm going to have some guests coming up as well, but we're going to go really deep into dating and relationships over the next few weeks, just to like create that energy with metamorphosis. And metamorphosis is really going to also be like a taster, because I have an online program that is so amazing and so affordable, and it's an online self-study. And so metamorphosis is also going to be like a taster for that, so that if you like metamorphosis and it's in the right time and in your budget to do the metamorphosis experience, which is the longer program, then I will invite you into doing that. But I want you to get a taste first of what it's like, because if you like my teachings, if you like my vibe, then you'll get transformation with me. So thank you so much tonight. It was a great, great episode. As always, we are here. My thing. Here we go. As always, Wind Down Wednesday here every single Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Sign up for Metamorphosis. I would love to see you in there. If you're catching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. If you're catching the replay, thanks for being here. Give a hashtag replay. And thank you so much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my little festive thing. I bet you can't guess what I'll do next week, but I'm definitely going to do a look for next week, and I will see you all soon. And to those of you in Radiance, I will see you tomorrow. All right. Love y'all. Bye. Good night.